Hello everyone. Today I'm going to introduce experimental error. What does it mean and how can we reduce it? Experimental error is a random variation present in all experimental results. Maybe also different experiment unit will give different responses to the same treatment. What do we mean by the experimental unit? The experimental unit is the thing that receive the treatment. And this treatment or this thing may be first, the thing is maybe a reactor type or land, a piece of land, or maybe a patient. This may be experimental unit. And what's the treatment? The treatment is the procedure that is used to be tested, or for example, for patients, for example, different doses of medicine, or maybe different temperature if we are talking about reactors. This is basically the experimental treatments. It's often true that applying the same treatment over and over again to the same experimental unit will result in different responses in different trials. So basically, if you have a reactor and apply temperature maybe 50, 30 degrees, you need to compare this 50 and 30 degrees C, and you repeat actual experiment many times, you can actually have experimental error. Experimental error doesn't actually refer to conducting wrong experiment or for example, dropping test tube. So basically, if someone actually did a wrong experiment or basically drop the treatment, like this dropping the test tubes, this means that it's not really experimental error. This is basically the experimental is wrong. Okay. What type of experimental error? We have two types: is systematic error and random error. Systematic error arises from imperfect equipment design and or operator errors. For example, if you have an uncalibrated system, this is basically imperfect equipment. Uncalibrated means that it will be reflective for all the measurements that you have. Or maybe if some operator forget to tear the scale, for example, this will be reflected on all of the measurements. This is basically systematic error. It can be avoidable. Yeah, you can actually recalibrate, or you can actually tear the scale. In this case, you can reduce the systematic error. On the other hand, random error, this happen because fluctuation of measured value about some mean value. This fluctuation are assumed to arise because of number of small uncontrollable processes. Each of these effect is individually small. So what does it mean? It means that there are always some fluctuation in the measurements. Like, for example, if you have actually a weight on a scale and you have some kind of disturbance around it, there should be some kind of fluctuation. If you look at this kind of digital scales, you can actually have this kind of fluctuation from because of the disturbances around them. So in this case, you need actually to reduce this random error. You have to have many measurements. In this case, you will actually reduce the standard deviation between the average value, because this basically will have a mean value, and then this kind of fluctuation around the mean value can be reduced if you have many measurements. Okay, I hope this is helpful, and see you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.